All right. Okay, time now is 11:10 a.m. in the morning on August 30th. Slept. I don't know what's going on outside. I don't think Cindy's at home, but it's got to be something to do with Cindy. She makes all kinds of sounds. Whether it be Beyonce's Renaissance or that jar of chewing gum, gumball, or whatever weird alarm sound, and then now this. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I woke up at 7:10 a.m. because Cindy turned off the aircon. And then I slept back, and then luckily she didn't turn it back off again. 10 a.m., 11 a.m. my alarm rang, and I'm gonna go out and see what the fuck that is. Yeah, my alarm rang, and here I am. So, today, like yesterday, I'm gonna film an album review, probably. I'm debating myself whether I should do that, because I haven't listened to that album enough. But then tomorrow, I'm going to have the Insane Film 32 class. And by the time I get back home tomorrow, it's going to be like 6 p.m. But yeah, essentially there's that. Again, I hope I meet someone interesting in my film class today. I really hope. Please, just, I want to meet someone interesting. Please do that for me. Hell frickin' please. So, yeah, so my class begins at 2:15, I believe. So at around 1:30, I'm getting the hell out of here. So, that's it for today. Culture Detective. I'm gonna check Canvas and see if the people are, the roster is there. I'm gonna check if the course is opened or not. Hold on. Nope, the course is not opened. And also, I would like to mention that the Chinese or maybe Taiwanese girl that I said was in the roster for biology class. Turns out there are 2 sections of that biology class, and she's at the other section. But yeah, course is not opened on Canvas. It's totally blind. I don't know if Aika is going to end up in my class either. Total blindness. Alright, almost got hit by a car, but I'm half an hour early, which is good. Oh boy. Here we go. Detective, let's go. Alright, just finished film history class. And it is a little bit more interesting than yesterday, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I'll talk about it when I get back to my apartment, but met a couple people, but no one all that interesting. Nobody all that interesting. I don't know, we'll see. All right, time now is 6:26 p.m. So film history. So once again, I arrived on time, actually a little bit earlier, about 15 minutes early. And, as per usual, I listened to music. By the way, the beeping alarm is still beeping. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's still beeping. It's been beeping all day long. Alright, so, I arrived at the campus, right? I arrived at the campus, and it's not the main campus, it's the CMD. I went to the 2nd floor, and I was like, I was already scouting. Because again, even though the class began, even as of now, the Canvas is not open. The course for the Canvas hasn't even been opened yet. So I have no idea what sort of people are enrolled in the class. Okay, so multiple people are haggling on me right now, and I have multiple things happening at the same time, so I'll be fast. I'll be quick with it, okay? Cindy's waiting on something. Okay, so you know what? Let's talk about Cindy first before I talk about film history class. So Cindy randomly, in the middle of film class, texted me asking me if I have a luggage. if I have a checked-in luggage that I can give it to her. Now, I definitely fucking do. I have 3 luggages. And apparently Cindy doesn't have enough luggages, even though she already had 2. But apparently they aren't big enough. Or something, I don't know. So Cindy's asking for my help. She says she's too tired. Well, too fucking tired. Let's see. We got the beeping alarm. And then we got this shit. She's always telling me to put dishes in the fucking dishwasher when she left this here for 4 days. 4 days. And oh, cleanliness, right. Yeah, let's talk about cleanliness. This place doesn't seem so clean to me right now, does it? I mean, look at this. It's a fucking mess. Look at the shoes. Her shoes are in the middle of the walkway. Even I don't do that. So, yeah, and obviously I and Cindy's relationship is not too good. I mean, we didn't argue. Oh, and the fucking beeps. That's great. And it's coming from her room as well. So I don't want to go in, but it's coming from her room. Yeah, Cindy wants my luggage. Honestly, I don't want to give it to her. I don't know what she'll do with it. Break it, have sex on it. I can't even imagine. But fine, I'll be a kind guy, and I'll give him my latest one, my new luggage. Alright, let's talk about what happened today then. Film 2. So, again, I arrived early. There's an East Asian looking girl. Who's standing around. Everybody's sitting and waiting, looking at their phones, but she's sort of standing against the ledge and looking around, and she's wearing gloves for some reason. And she's not using her phone. So, okay, weirdo, outcast, cool. So I went and grabbed a seat, and I just sat and I waited. And then she got impatient. So at one point, the professor, when I arrived on that floor, the second floor, the professor walked past me and entered the classroom. And then about 5 minutes later, she knocked onto the door and she got into the classroom first, basically, because she ran out of patience, I guess. And afterwards, people start going into the classroom. So we're still early by like 10 minutes. She chose a relatively nice seat, you know, near the middle, not really, sort of in the center, nice. But I got really lucky because the guy sitting next to me, to my right, is a really chill dude. So, you know, we all got in and the professor introduced himself, and then a few people was late. So it's a nice classroom, nice vertical classroom. This time is vertical, not rectangular, vertical. The window is down there and the door is over here. And you know, it's just rows of seats, sort of like a classroom, which is really nice. So yeah, and it's a pupitre. I don't know, man. I don't know what's the word, but it's like the desk and the chair is connected, and it's connected with like an iron bar on the right, so you can't get into the seat from the right side. You must get in from the left side. But yeah, I sat down and the professor introduced himself, and the professor is really nice, really charming, charismatic guy who's really funny. He swears a lot, which means he's probably very experienced in the film industry, which is a good indication. And then he showed us the syllabus. And again, I received 0 emails from him. Still, as of now, no emails from him. So we are actually looking at the syllabus for the first time for all of us. But yeah, you know, it's cool though, because the film selections for the course, it's all revealed and they're all amazing. So we got Umberto D by Luca De Sica. I forgot the name of the director. Shit. But Umberto D, which I've heard great things about. And then more afterwards, we have Good Morning by Ozu Yasuhiro, which is insane, Ohio. And then there's Abbas Kiarostami film. There's The Hours of the Furnace, which is part of this third film wave. And then there's 1 week dedicated to Chinese/Hong Kong/Taiwan films. And for every single semester, it's going to change. It's either one of these 3. So this semester, it's a Chinese film. And he picked Hero by Zhang Yimou. But if it's not, then it would be either Hong Kong or Taiwan. And that's pretty cool. And then he went over and we got an Indian week. And for that, he picked RRR by S.S. Rajamouli, the new Telugu film. And when we saw that part, a few people got excited, like, whoa, you know. And I got excited too, even though I haven't seen it. But the guy next to me, he's excited. So the people who got excited and know about this stuff means that they know movies. They don't just like movies because, you know, ooh, Nolan, Tarantino, but actually like real shit, you know. And then afterwards we have the self-introduction time. So I already looked around and I realized that there's only one girl who looks East Asian and that's it. Turns out I was wrong. She isn't even East Asian. She's Indonesian. But, you know, she could very well be like Indonesian from a Japanese descent or Indonesian from a Chinese descent. You know, I don't know. But, yeah. But turns out she's Indonesian. So there's not a single East Asian by nationality anyways. There's a Mongolian dude. So what happened was, we spent about 5 to 10 minutes where the professor just allowed us to look to anyone beside us and chat with them and, you know, self-introduce, you know, that's just my name, what's my major, what's my favorite movie, and just chat, you know. And so before I even initiated, the guy sitting next to me, a black dude, a big black dude, not big, but like, you know, not a skinny one, you know, medium-sized black dude, looked at me and he's like, hey, what's your name? No, he's like, oh, Enoch, right? Because we did a roll call, so I already said my name. Everyone said their names. But yeah, the guy sitting next to me, his name is Patrick. And he's like, oh, you're Enoch, right? And I'm like, yeah. And we started talking, and he was actually really chill. And I was also being really social and nice, smiling a lot through the mask. And it was really nice. I talked about, like, we're both at our third year. I'm in my third year in this college. He's also in his third year. And I talked about, he asked me what's my favorite movie this year so far, and I said Everything Ever All at Once. And then I also mentioned Decision to Leave, and he's like, oh yeah, mine too. And then he said his favorite film is Arrival by Denis Villeneuve. And I want to talk about Hong Kong. I want to stand out and not be American. So I asked him, oh, so you're from LA, you're from around here? And he's like, yeah, LA, born and raised. And he's like, you? I said, oh, Hong Kong. And he's like, whoa, okay. I want to get into Wong Kar-wai. And then I said, oh, Fallen Angels, I really recommend it. So, yeah, we took another 5-minute break. So everyone left the classroom. And I was like, should I stay behind or should I go? Well, Patrick left. So I decided to go out. And Patrick and another really tall white guy and the Colombian girl were like, standing around and talking outside of the classroom. So I decided to join. I just stood there like an idiot. But obviously, if you don't act awkward, you're not awkward, okay? So that tall white guy, so he sits at the very front. His name is Tyler, and he sits at the very front. And then before the class even started, he and another white guy started chatting very passionately about films. You know, oh, Eric Romer. Oh, freaking... Tarkovsky. So the guy is a Tarkovsky fan. And he's just, so for the most part, when we had to do our self-introduction, we had to talk about our favorite movies. If we don't have one, it's fine. We don't have to talk about it. But most of the people, I'd say like 80 to 85% of all the people in that class today are basically, I'm not going to say shallow, but, you know, pretty amateurish entry-level movie taste, okay? So Interstellar, Inception, some people are watching Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and Game of Thrones. I mean, they're good, but, you know, very entry level. You know, there's one Baby Driver. There's a couple of girls who really like Midsommar. There's Halloween. And then we have this tall white guy who's like, oh, my favorite film is Sacrifice by Tarkovsky. Which, Tarkovsky's films are known to be super slow and artsy and poetic and challenging and inaccessible. And Sacrifice is like the big boss. He just gives off the vibe that he likes really artsy, slow films. Because, you know, I talk about how I'm from Hong Kong, and he's like, oh, Wong Kar-wai, right? In the Mood for Love is my favorite. And then, he asked me what other movies I like, and I said, oh, I like Ikkyu by Kurosawa. And he's like, oh yeah, Kurosawa. I'm not huge on his samurai movies. So again, artsy type guy. He said he likes Ran, but he doesn't like Kurosawa's other samurai films. Again, artsy type guy, because Kurosawa samurai films are honestly kind of conventional and accessible. And then went back to the classroom, and the professor decided to screen us Hell or High Water for the American film. So we watched the whole thing, front to back, without subtitles. So it's a movie that I've seen before, and I'd say 20 to 30% of the time I don't know what the characters are saying, honestly, but I still understand for the most part, which is already kind of impressive for me. But yeah, watched the movie, and then we took another 5-minute break, and I heard the tall white guy Tyler chat with another guy, and the other guy was like, "Oh, do you like the film?" And Tyler's like, "Nah, I got some qualms with it. I mean, yeah, it critiques capitalism and the dangers of the capital, but it just doesn't express these themes well enough." So he's really that guy. He's the artsy film essayist. He's the film elite. Yeah, afterwards, final remarks from the professor. And the professor even, like, at some point, after he talked about the syllabus, I guess, he talked about film club. Oh, by the way, he is one of the supervisors for film club this year. And, it's a lot of fun, and he's telling people to join. Lo and behold, yours truly is the vice chairperson of the scriptwriting club. So I realize how much I'm involved in things. I realize how deep into the film world I somehow have gone into, which is really nice. So okay, finally, we all left. And then we left a little earlier than when the class is supposed to end, and it was nice. And then right before I left, Patrick, the black guy, he pulled out his phone, and I also pulled out my phone because I was gonna ask him Instagram. So I asked first, and he's like, "Man, you read my mind." So we exchanged Instagram. So there we go. I picked up one Instagram, and then that's it. And then we left. And I really want to speak to that Indonesian girl, kinda, because I'm curious on what's up with her. She's shy, she's impatient, she's not social at all, and she feels like one of those people who's just going to drop after week 1. So the opportunity presents itself. While I was walking away, she's just standing there alone, and I don't want to just walk past her, so this is my chance. So I walked up to her and said, "Oh, are you from Indonesia?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, my grandma's also from Indonesia, and then she moved to China." And she's like, "Okay." And then I'm like, "Nice to meet you." It was kind of awkward. It was really awkward, and I bet it's even more awkward for her because she doesn't know what to say. But she's really small. But when I actually walked up to her close up front, I realized maybe she's a lot older than I thought she is. Not much. Oh, and the gay Chinese boy whom I met yesterday, which felt like 2 weeks ago, he texted me over Instagram and was like, "Hi, if you have time, can I ask you about the biology assignment?" With a kissing emoji. What the fuck? So tomorrow is it? Aika, please. You can do it, Aika. Pick Wednesday. You can do it. Please. Please, please, please. Or anyone else, really. Alright, so I'm gonna unpack this. I already pulled the tape and opened this, but mooncake time, baby. Woo! Here we go. This is not Maxim, by the way. So this is not the usual package that I'm familiar with. This is Renhua. So yeah, 4 mooncakes, which is definitely more than enough for me. Maybe I'll share it, but I'll eat like maybe a quarter right now, and then I'll save some for tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, a quarter is fine. Maybe even more than that. Alright, let's eat this mooncake. Mooncake in America. Just so poorly cut. Oh my god. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers, cheers, cheers. aside from the fact that my tongue hurts as hell right now, I'm happy I got to eat this. I really am. Not a huge fan of the egg yolk, but it's part of the experience. I would say today is a bit better than yesterday in that today is a little more interesting. I feel a little awkward and embarrassed approaching that Indonesian girl because I feel like she's really shy and socially awkward and I shouldn't have approached her at all. And I'm saying all this, but I've never even approached Aika, so yeah, that's kind of weird. Also, there's a girl in our class who's super short who looks like a child. She looks like she's 12 years old, for God's sake. Again, I don't know what's going on at all, but at least I met someone who I can stick with and chat with in this Film 2 class, so that's really good. And it feels less depressing, or not depressing, but less bland than, I guess, yesterday's Biology 3 class. Way less bland, that's great. I'm gonna call my mom later, because I haven't called her in a long time, and I can't call her yesterday. Because of this crazy concert thing that she's throwing with her company. No news from the Chinese boss lady. I guess she ignored my texts. I'm gonna text her again tomorrow noon, maybe. Remember how I said, you know, just a week ago, a little more than a week ago, Aika and Thomas will be filming their short films on a Friday, and I can use that opportunity to meet Aika and say things to her. But then I said, I guess before I meet her, I would already have figured out if Aika's gonna end up in my class or not, because because of the roster, because the course is open on Canvas. Well, oh boy, have things changed, because not only did neither Thomas nor Aika film anything, but also I have no idea who's in my class, even now, one day before the freaking class. I'm gonna have to wake up extremely early, so 9 a.m. So let's say it takes about 35 minutes. It takes about 20 minutes to get to campus, but I want to get there earlier. And I always need to account for the fact that sometimes a bus straight up disappears. Let's say it takes about 35 to 40 minutes to get there, so 9, that's 8:20. If I wake up and immediately eat food and immediately go out, then 8 a.m. 8 a.m. tops. Cannot be later than that. So if I sleep now, I'll have 8 hours, but obviously I can't fall asleep now. I'll try to sleep at 3 a.m. so that I get 5 hours. So I will... And also tomorrow it's 9 to 4:30. And I don't know how many breaks will we be given, and I don't know if there's going to be a lunch break or not. Because the thing is, on the college schedule website, on the class schedule website, tomorrow's class is actually 2 separate classes, technically. Film 32 goes from 4 to 12 at noon. No, 9 a.m. to 12 at noon. And then the Film 32L, which means Film 32 Lab, it goes from 12:15 to 4:30. This means officially there's a 15-minute break. But of course, this is the Italian professor that I've taken last semester, and we all know that he's very loose about things like this. He gives breaks out. He doesn't really care. So maybe we'll have a huge lunch break. And I and Christian spoke a little bit over Discord, and Christian's like, yeah, man, I hope there's a huge lunch break because it's a real long course. And I'm like, yeah, 7.5 hour long class. I mean, I've never taken a class this long before. This is 7.5 fucking hours long. Wow. But that's also a good thing, because now I get to like literally experience more with people so that it actually feels like school. To be stuck with the same group of people for 7.5 hours every week, that is as much as I could get ever since I began college. And also, another good thing is I'll be seeing a lot of the same few people, so of course I know for a fact that Pepper's going to show up, I know Christian's going to show up. I'm going to see them again. So I already have a sense of community because I've already been to school with them. But I know for a fact that a lot of people that I've seen before will also show up. I don't know exactly who, but probably someone from Film 40, a bunch of people from Film 31 would naturally show up in my 32. I'm gonna just bring like half a mooncake tomorrow, and honestly, half a mooncake is enough to fill me up for lunch. Honestly, it's just so thick and oily. But then if we do go out for lunch, then I guess I'll buy something light. Ooh, it would be even fucking oh my god, I would fucking piss my pants if we do an organized lunch where a group of students leave the campus and eat at a restaurant together. That would be so fucking nostalgic. I would want to kill myself. That's literally bringing me back to the Form 5, Form 6 days. Me and Nick and Bean Gang going to the to the noodle shop and eating lunch together and paying together. That would bring me back so fucking hard. I would love for that to happen. And if I and Christian and maybe Pepper band together and Pepper's friend, and if Aika's there, maybe we can join Aika's team, and then like us 5 or 6 or maybe 7 people, we could all storm Carl's Jr. or McDonald's and eat there, and it's going to be a cyclic thing, which means that like, you know, once a week we go to Carl's Jr., once a week we go to McDonald's or Subway or something like that. Like, it'll be so damn cool. Please make that happen. Please, for the love of God, I would love that feeling to come back. Please make that feeling come back, please. I realize that my secondary school life is irreplaceable. Everything that happened in secondary school, it's just the utmost beauty. Nothing compares, right? I sound really excited for tomorrow, but I need to, again, have an expectation that maybe Aika will not show up. If she doesn't show up, it's fine. There's Pepper, there's Christian. It's cool. But be prepared that maybe it's going to be boring. In fact, be prepared that Pepper's not going to show up. Maybe, you know, you never know. Maybe Pepper's sick tomorrow, randomly. I don't know. Maybe Pepper got pissed at me. Maybe Pepper switched to Friday. Maybe a couple days, maybe yesterday when Pepper and Thomas met at script writing class, maybe they discussed and Pepper's like, oh, you know what? I'll switch to Friday. And Pepper actually did it, leaving me all alone with Christian, which is still fine, but you know, maybe that's going to happen. There's no telling what's going to happen. There's no predicting what's going to happen. So I need to be mentally prepared for the worst case scenario, but I'm feeling feelings, okay? I'm envisioning things that I haven't felt in over 2 years. Lost feelings, man. Yo, what the fuck? What is this? What? I genuinely thought I wouldn't get picked, but honestly, the selection is probably too small that I have to get picked anyways. Yo, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Whoa!